music, so catchy. I know I saw you. We were just vibing over here. Everybody, let me introduce you to my good friend, Mark Mayfield. Mark, how you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so great to see your face.
I know. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. It was very excited to have you on. I know we were talking late last night, but I'm excited to introduce you to our network. The Crypto Recruiters has a network of over 150,000 people. So my goal was to get your name out there to our network to see if anybody was hiring a chief technology officer or lead developer. Because I think your track record has been amazing. Your experience is off the charts. And I just think people need to know who you are. So let's kick this off. Mark, where are you based?
I'm based out of Austin, Texas. Been here since about 2015. So love it down here. Love the attitude of the city, the vibe, the weather, everything. It's my spot.
It's your spot. And Consensus is in Austin. And I know you and I went last year. That's where we met in person. Do you plan to go to Consensus this year? Is it in Austin this year? I feel like it moved, but then moved back.
I'm not sure, but if it is, I am going.
So. Okay. I like it. So how long have you been in crypto?
I've been in crypto for approximately a little over 4 years.
Long time.
Non-traditional path to get in here. I mean, relatively, yes. The industry moves so fast, so I guess that is a long time, I guess.
And how long have you been working remote?
I've been remote since probably 2015. Early adopter.
Do you like working remote?
I love it. I don't mind working in an office. I don't mind hybrid, but there is a convenience factor to working remote. For me, for what I do and what I build, it is kind of, it can be a benefit to be remote because it allows you to test what you're building in a distributed network where, offsite thing, when you're on site, things might run perfectly, but when you're on a random internet connection or somewhere, you've never been before, you might notice some things that, you wouldn't notice if some bugs or some issues or some networking issues that you might not notice if you're working from a big office with that sort of setup. So, yeah.
Do you know why developers code in the dark?
Because we don't like the daylight.
Because light attracts bugs.
Oh man.
I had to. Anyway, yeah. Going back to you. So you've been in crypto for 4 years. I know you've been in more on the, developing CTO side. Can you tell us a little bit about your career and what exactly you do?
Yeah. So my tech stack, first and foremost, I come from a JavaScript heavy UI development background. I do a lot of, I am full stack, so I do front end and back end pretty much equally. And what I've been doing recently, the past few years, is building a lot of APIs, integrating APIs from various providers. Basically building a centralized, I know that's a word people hate in crypto, but a centralized hub for data that then other users can build custom dashboards and do analytics on top of, regards to blockchain data. And I've also built several of dashboards myself on top of that data as well. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of a broad answer to what I've been doing, but I'd say it's been quite a journey, and I've been able to help quite a few people, and I've done a lot. It's been an amazing experience being able to do all that. So
how long have you been a developer? And let's start with that, because you started as a developer first. How long have you been doing that?
I'd say really intensely focused on it since about early 2018. So, you know, that is, 7 years ish, 8 years.
Like, do you count it?
That. I was a casual developer just for fun before that, but really decided to go all in around then. And I didn't start out in crypto. It took me a second to make my way there, but at the end of the day, it's working with data. Blockchain is data, and I love working with data. And it might sound boring to say, cleaning data, just acquiring data. Putting it together, getting it out there. That stuff I really enjoy doing. So it was a journey to get to crypto, but it all has enhanced my ability in this space as well.
Crypto's got a hard barrier to entry, and I think the biggest challenge has been there's so many layoffs that the barrier to entry is even higher, because right now companies are focused on hiring people that have the experience in crypto, right? They don't have time to train on the ecosystem to teach you what blockchain is. They need people to come in that know what they're doing and to hit the ground running. So I know at your last company, I know you can't talk much about it because you're under NDA, but I know at your last company, what was your title? Wasn't it like, what was your title at your last company?
It was the tech lead, principal.
Yeah, you were really more of a CTO, and now you just moved into a CTO position. I was curious, how many years of leadership experience do you have?
In software, I have about, I would say, 3+ years managing and working alongside a team, guiding them, kind of just leading the team towards the software goals that we set. I'd say pure leadership. I've had leadership experience since I was a kid. My dad was a coach for many years, so he was always the coach of the teams that I played on: baseball, football, all that. So, I've been a leader through all that. I wouldn't consider myself a leader. I lead by example, right? Not just a leader. I think you can call yourself a leader, but unless you can really follow through and lead by example, I don't know that. So that's what I try to do, is lead by example.
So it sounds like you're very in the weeds.
Yes, sometimes you really have. I mean, if you want to solve some complex problems, sometimes you have to really get into the weeds and figure it out. And then once you're in there, if you see what's going on, you can get a good feel of like, how do we move forward with this thing? Then you can begin to strategize, and then maybe build a plan around that. So I'm all about getting in the weeds, breaking stuff apart, seeing what it's made of, and then trying to go from there.
How many people did you manage? Like, what was the largest amount of direct reports that you've ever had?
I'd say between 3 to 5 people.
What do you think they would say about you? Like, if I went and called them and I said, "Hey, I'm going to hire Mark. How is he as a leader?" What do you think they would say?
They would say yes. They would say I lead by example. But that's something I really pride in a leader, is someone who can lead by example, but also who can work side by side with these people. You're in it together, right? You're on the front lines together. So lead from the front. There's that saying. So I would say they would say that about me.
I think, I get to talk to leaders all day long, and there's a lot of leaders that just want to do the strategy, right? They don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to do the coding, and they just want to do overall technical strategy, which I think there's a home for everybody. And there's companies that just need the technical strategy, and they don't necessarily need them to be in the weeds. But what I really like about you is you enjoy both, right? You're a well-rounded guy. You want to do the strategy and in the weeds. You want to march on the front lines with your people. Now I have to ask you, Mark, What's the dream job? If you could do anything, what would you want to be doing?
I think it would be working on a team, uh, on a product, working with a group of people that are dedicated to the craft, who support each other, uh, work hard, and create something that is adopted by the masses. And for I guess everyone wants to work for a company who cares for them. So sort of that type of deal.
Amazing. Would you be comfortable being a founding developer?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I have a lot of experience with sort of figuring out the needs when there's not really, it's a blank canvas, right? There's a blank
Right.
canvas, figuring out the needs of the customer, and then executing on that, creating something around that when there really was nothing before, but creating solutions. So I think that is what uh, is a trait of a good trait of a founder, is being able to basically pull something out of the ether and create something meaningful that can be used by many people. So
How do you manage your employees' work-life balance? Is work-life balance important to you? I know in crypto there tends to be minimal, but how do you feel about work-life balance for your people?
uh, I think it all comes down to the people you hire. If you hire the right people, you don't have to really do the work life. You don't have to really manage them. If they're good, hardworking employees, I mean, you don't really have to manage them. And then if something comes up and they need, some personal comes up, and they need time off, it's all good. Let's communicate. We're all a team here, right? So, uh,
Mark, I think if I had you as a boss, I would be in a much different place in my career. I mean, I'll be honest, I've never had a leader that was okay with work-life balance. I think taking time off or taking vacations, it can lead to sometimes a guilty feeling. So I love that that's something that you handle healthily. I forgot to ask, how did you even get into crypto and blockchain? Well, I want to hear the story there.
it's I've always been kind of on the sidelines watching Bitcoin. Back since I think it started coming into around me. I started hearing a lot about it in like 2013, but I didn't really get into it. I kind of just, oh, this is cool. It's a novelty, right? I didn't think it was going to explode the way it is now, but uh, I was looking for a new opportunity before my previous employer, and I had a lot of analytics experience working with data, building dashboards, and uh, creating analytical data that you could build dashboards with. And my previous employer saw that, they introduced me to blockchain, actually. But then it was coming up to speed in the blockchain space while adapting all those analytical skills that I had gained from previous software development. And then from there, just being in the space itself, continuing to learn, stay up to date on what's going on. And I still don't think I know everything about blockchain, right? I think that's one of the things that is it's a perceived barrier to entry for a lot of people in this space. It's just like, oh, blockchain, and they're they go blank, right?
Right.
But I think if people really took 10 minutes to go on YouTube and just look at the basics of it, right? Learn some basics of it, and then go from there. Blockchain is not going anywhere. It's going to be in every aspect of our lives moving forward. I truly believe the technology, the underlying fundamental technology itself is going to be a part of our lives forever, whether you like it or not. But
Totally agree with you. I mean, all the big enterprises are touching it. It's here to stay for sure. Mark,
mhm.
have loved having you on today. Is there anything that any potential hiring manager should know about you in our audience? And how can they reach you?
uh, I would say my work ethic, extremely
Mm.
dedicated. I work very hard. If there is a problem or, and there's not a solution, I can find a way to solve it. So you can find me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way to find me through a professional mediums.
Mm-hmm. Or if you need Mark's email, I have it and his number. I won't give it out, but I'll definitely ask you first if I can provide your email to some of these people that reach out to us. But Mark, thanks so much for coming on with us. It was great to learn your story. Call me anytime, my friend. I'm excited to support you through this journey.
Thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed this. So thanks for allowing me this platform.
I'll talk to you soon, Mark.
All right.